Today's video is brought to you by HelloFresh. Let's see what we're cooking today, boys. We've got some sweet chili pork and cabbage stir fry. HelloFresh recipes feature produce that go from the farm to your front door in under a week, which means their spring menu features the season's freshest flavors. HelloFresh offers a wide variety of quick and easy recipes to minimize prep and make cleanup a breeze. HelloFresh has 50 weekly recipes to choose from, so you can stop asking yourself what's for dinner and start asking yourself, what am I going to do with all this extra time? All right, time for the sauce. Oh yeah. Dang, check that out, boys. Looks amazing, smells amazing. We're gonna go ahead and prepare ourselves a little bowl here. Got ourselves some rice. It's always a good day when we get to do a HelloFresh video. These meals, honestly, are amazing. And you guys need to know that HelloFresh cuts down your food waste about 25% as opposed to going to the grocery store. I mean, it tastes delicious. I love to cook now. It's great. If you guys want to try out HelloFresh for yourselves, be sure to use our code BoostedBoys16 and you'll get up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/BoostedBoys16. And yeah guys, don't miss out. This stuff's delicious. Spring's coming up. Save some time, save some meal prep, and get yourself some HelloFresh. Well guys, unfortunately it started raining and the event did get called off, which sucks because we actually tried to test 2 days ago and that private test day got rained out. We've been trying to get this thing back to the track and see what she will run, but it is starting to become the rainy season out here in Florida and the weather is just not letting it happen for us guys. So unfortunately, we're not running the MR2 in today's video. It will be about something else, but I was hoping we were gonna pop off another 7 tonight, but rain had other plans. But we're gonna go ahead and get the cars loaded up and try it again another day, hopefully next week. All right guys, I had to pull Wago out of its spot real quick because back when I started the channel, you know, Wago and the Hatch were the OG cars, and there was this guy that was also really into Civic wagons, and me and him go way back. We've messaged each other, you know, since the very beginning. I've actually asked him stuff about my wagon in the past. He reached out when we wrecked this thing and offered me like a new fender and stuff, if you guys remember when I got into an accident. But all the way from California, we have Dana over here, Mr. Young Static.
What is going on, guys?
It has been awesome hanging out with you.
Hell yeah, dude. It's unfortunate we didn't get to hang out long, but I can assure you we'll be back in Florida and we'll be doing things. I'm gonna have you show me around because you guys know how to get down here in Florida.
Yeah, what you think of the place, man? What you think about seeing Wago in person?
It's crazy to say because, like I said, I've been following the channel under 10,000, and I've seen the wagon how it was before with the single cam and all the hooning and snow drifting you've been doing, and to see it progress into this. Mind you guys, I came here and my first focus was to see the wagon. It's got an NSX, got the MR2, the hatch. I wanted to see the wagon and it looks fucking awesome, man. You turned this thing into a badass machine, bro, and you got my thumbs up on it, 100%, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, so for those that don't know, Dana is a huge wagon guy. He has several of them, and he's out from California, and he does a lot of paint and body work. He can fabricate. He still has 3 of them. And, you know, we had these things back before all-wheel drive swapping Civics was cool. And now these poor wagons get all torn up because people want the rear diffs out of them and the all-wheel drive system, and then people just throw the shells away. And then honestly, it hurts.
It hurts my heart. It does.
I love the wagons too, and I would never do that to this one. And with this thing being one of the OG cars, and seeing Dana here, check it out. It's pretty cool.
It needed the 11. You gave it the 11 it needed, and being one of the OG cars, man, I'm glad you stuck with it. Even if you stuffed it in the corner and don't drive it.
Yeah, at least I treated her good. And
yeah. It's nice to see that the car, one of the OG cars, still on the channel. It's nice to see it got the 11 it needs, and just by what you were telling me earlier, I think this thing is going to be more of a monster than it already is.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, ever since James blew up my freaking engine, dude. She's been down on power, and we got to fix that. I want to put a semi-built setup back into Wago and bump that power back up and just make it a fun street car.
Get this thing leveled up with the rest of the whips.
I don't know if she needs to be that leveled up, but you know, I'm thinking like a solid 600 all wheel. Just yeah,
that's still fast.
That's still fast.
That's Cali's number. Out here, 600 is low to you guys. Cali's 600 is dominant on the street.
It's 2022. If you ain't making 600, exactly. It's not impressive anymore.
I need to step my game up. I fly back tomorrow. I wish we could do more, but you know, like I said, thanks Kyle for spending some time with me today before I get on out of here, and we will be back, man. We will be back
for sure. Yeah, for all you guys who follow along for all you Honda boys out there, Dana is one of the OG guys, so
Man.
go give him a follow.
Thank you.
He's always junkyarding and stuff, and
yeah, budget
he's one of the
building
OGs.
as
So
always, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, we got Waggo fired up actually for him a little bit ago. It's been a while since she's ran, so we'll have to get Waggo up and going here soon. I know a lot of you guys miss it, and I do too. It hurts me seeing it collect dust.
The OG subscribers know, man. I'm sure they're pumped up just to even see the wagon move out of its resting spot.
Yeah, I haven't really driven it since the new wheels.
Yeah, so I'm saying you got to pull it out of hibernation, man. Get the thing on the street and start mobbing out there, you know?
Yeah, she'll be back.
It'll be back.
And she will survive the James test next time, hopefully. All right, guys, I got the Nissan CD009 transmission unbolted from the J Series that came out of the 240. And over here we have our LS, and it's time to get these suckers mated together. This is made by General Motors. That is made by Nissan. These things were never meant to be put together, but thanks to the aftermarket automotive industry, we have some parts that make that happen. So this is the stuff that we got in our Collins kit. This is our cast bell housing adapter. This side goes to the LS, and this side goes to that nice chunk of billet aluminum goodness. So this guy will actually bolt to the inside of the CD09 transmission. What we have to do to the CD09 transmission here is the part that I was dreading the most, is we actually have to cut the bell housing off of this guy with an angle grinder. And if you look up in here, you can see all these bolts on this input shaft cover. So we got all these guys that will come undone, and this billet plate will actually take their place, and that will allow us to bolt this bell housing up to that billet plate. And then since this is the LS bolt pattern right here, that guy will just bolt right up to our LS engine there. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the bell housing off of the CD09 here. We're actually just going to be cutting just behind this factory rib in the casting. If you want it to look, you know, nice and fancy, you can actually go just in front of it, and then you have to massage it with a angle grinder to get it nice and flat to make sure that that plate's not binding up. I'm not gonna worry about that. I talked to Taylor Ray. He's like, you know what, just cut it right behind that rib and you'll be good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and lop that bell housing off and do everything we need to do to get that billet piece on there and get this thing mated up to our LS. So I just got the bell housing bolted up to this billet plate right here, and I am gonna go ahead and bolt this all together, but I noticed after taking this apart that my input shaft bearing is a little shot. You can see there's some wiggle room there. It looks like the journal, like on the top where the balls actually ride, up in there, kind of wallowed out just on this top side because the bottom is solid and you can spin it over. And just that top side has a little bit of play. So I'm going to order a new input shaft bearing for this thing. And we are ordering some other parts to come in for the LS as well to kind of build it up some while it is out of the car. So this won't be going into the 240 too soon, so I will go ahead and replace that input shaft bearing once it comes in. So I'm not going to seal any of this up right now. You're supposed to put a layer of silicone right around this guy, and then that will bolt up, but then, you know, at that point it is done and ready to go. Get the clutch and stuff on there, and we can mate it up to the engine. But for right now, just going to get it together, and we'll get that bearing replaced once we get one in. You like my T56?
Yeah, your Po Boys T56. I like it.
Just got her done. So yeah, like I said, we'll get that input shaft bearing replaced, but that is her all together. We just got to get the hydraulic throwout bearing on there. It came with a T56 style throwout bearing, just like a factory one, so that'll bolt right on, and then that guy will bolt directly up to our LS.
Nice unit.
They even didn't give you the extra bolt hole. crazy.
Was there an
I don't know
extra
why
bolt hole?
LSs aren't really drilled for them, but every small block Chevy ever is drilled here, but doesn't have a top hole. But then LSs, I don't think any of them are drilled here, but they all have the top hole.
Huh.
So
Interesting. Yeah, it didn't have the extra one right here.
pretty legit though.
All right, guys, it's time to give this thing a bath. There is a lot of dirt and grime on this LS. She is disgusting. Fresh junkyard unit, though. It's to be expected, so we're going to go ahead and get this guy power washed off. These freaking big motors, man. It broke our dolly over here. So RIP to that guy. It was sitting on here, and then we came out this morning, and the dolly let go. Just couldn't hold the weight of the LS. It's used to Honda motors, and, you know, those extra cylinders snapped it right in half. But let's go ahead and get this thing cleaned off. Alrighty, boys, we got the LS all cleaned off. I went to Harbor Freight and got an engine stand for it. Got that guy up onto there. As you saw, the transmission is pretty much good to go. I got that input shaft bearing ordered, so we'll replace that, and then the transmission can get bolted on to the engine here, and we can stuff all of this into the 240. But before we do that, while the engine is out of the car, we're going to be doing a couple upgrades to this thing. So I've been learning all kinds of new LS terminology, and I've been told that we're going to want a new cam in this thing. We're gonna wanna do new springs and retainers and lifters, and while we're at it, we're also gonna do a new oil pump, get a high flow oil pump in there, just so that we can rev this thing out, and the cam we're gonna get will be good for both naturally aspirated and potentially turbo application if we do decide to turbo this thing later on down the road. But since this is just a bone stock truck motor, these things were never designed to rev out hard, and we're gonna wanna get all of these springs and retainers changed out on this guy, and you know, get a better cam in there since it's out of the car. Might as well get that knocked out now. And if you come over here and look at the 240Y, it's been working on it, and we got everything pretty much back to OEM. So we took out the contraption that we had going on over here out of the car. So you guys remember, this was the original front subframe out of the 240. Cut the center section out so we could have the J series sit right here with the starter, and then we have this flaming river rack and pinion that we mounted in front of the engine, and we had all this, you know, ghetto-ness going on. All of that is now out of the vehicle. We can actually put it to factory steering, and it will actually steer like a normal car again. We can drive it down the street, and it will be usable and not very janky, because if you went over 40 miles an hour in this thing, it would literally like death wobble, and it was bad. So while I've been working on that, we got a whole bunch of brackets cut out of this thing. I'm sure all of you guys are sad to see the OG alternator mount go, or Wyatt's custom alternator mount out of square tubing. That guy got cut out of there.
That thing was a unit, bro.
Dude, she worked pretty good though. It definitely did the job. So that guy was right there. We had a whole bunch of brackets back over here for when they redid all of the control arm stuff. We actually had the spindles swapped on both sides to make that steering rack work as a front steer instead of the rear steer like factory. All of it's gone now.
Yeah.
The 240's back to normal. And now our LS mount kits will bolt up to our engine, and everything should go right in from here. Once we get the engine built and gone through, it can all go into the car.
Yeah. The fact that you could even steer this thing in the burnout pit was pretty surprising.
Yeah, it was
the steering
bad.
was so bad on this thing. So
Yeah.
get that all fixed, make it a lot more, give it a lot more ability to drift. It's gonna
Yeah.
be sweet.
We can do whatever with this thing finally.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we got our S13 subframe back in there, so that's all good to go. And she's just back to normal, boys. Just a normal bone stock 240.
Yeah.
Like it never even happened. There was
very
never even a Honda motor in here.
Right. It's so close to be able to put that LS in it too. We got like a couple little brackets to finish up, and then once that thing's modified, it's going right in. It's gonna be sweet.
You want to tell them about the little incident back there?
Yeah.
We had a little incident with the back window, boys.
Yep. Elle in the chat got a little aggressive with moving some stuff around in the back of the car, and needless to say, the radiator came through the rear window. So if you guys got a S14 rear window,
Yeah,
let
hit
your boy
us
know.
up. They're expensive, but we're putting some things in the car, and the radiator accidentally got tossed back there, and the back window got shattered.
Yeah.
So we need a new one.
Yep, big L. So,
but now we just got the track bag on there to keep rainwater out.
yeah, pretty fancy upgrade, honestly. I mean, that's a nice hefty bag.
Well, yeah, we got to also fix the ratchet strap holding the trunk down. We got to get a new rear bumper on this thing and actually clean it up. We put the original wheels back on it as well, so it doesn't look as jank with the steelies. She'll eventually clean up. She's getting there. It's gonna be legit one day. We made it to a stopping point on the 240, and now we are over here checking out what Wyatt's up to on the old race truck build. I think we left off with where you were getting the intercooler placed, and we showed all that. We talked about how you don't need a blow-off valve or wastegate on the diesel setup, and it looks like he got his last and final charge pipe fabbed up and ready to be welded out there.
Only took 2 tries to do that one, but it's ready to go. So today we're gonna go ahead, get it all disassembled again, and start welding it all out, because as it sits, it's complete. Just needs the final welding.
Came out freaking awesome. Check that out. All the exhaust tubing going into the turbo there, and all the titanium charge pipes and exhaust coming off the turbo. That looks really freaking good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it welded up and start anodizing it, get it all colorful and pretty. I think that's what's gonna really make the engine bay pop on this thing. So looking forward to it. Got a whole bunch of welding to do. Get back into the consistency and hopefully not mess up the titanium.
Yeah, this is the part where we go through a full bottle of gas welding.
Yep, gotta back purge it all, and yeah, not fun, but it'll look really cool once it's done.
Better get to welding.
Yep, let's do it.
Wyatt's been over here welding away. He's coming along though, getting close, boys. The only thing left is the titanium. He has his charge pipes over there, but we're probably gonna save that and dedicate a video to doing all of the titanium stuff, because once that's done, it's gonna look really good. Then it's gonna really finally come together. The turbo kit will be pretty much complete. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've been looking up all the stuff on how to color it, and once we get it all welded out and the whole turbo kit's on this thing, you know, it's game time from there on, man. Yeah, it's looking good. He got his intake manifold all welded up. Got the stainless going into the turbo all welded up. You did have to adjust some things right there, so these 2 joints aren't fully welded, just because when you weld stainless, it warps a lot. Yeah, it likes to shrink. He wants the turbo to stay exactly where it's at. Yep, as you can see, it's already, like, even with the adjustments, you can see it moved a little bit. Now, granted, there's a big, thick gasket that goes in there, but, you know, this thing moved over 1/4 inch just by welding it, so kind of crazy. Looking good though, dude. Yeah, not too bad. Getting there. A little rusty, but they're starting to come together. I have to start welding again, dude. I've been slacking. For real. So I figured I'd get all my practice in on this stuff before I went to town on the titanium and messed it up. So I'm getting there though. It's looking good. 2 more joints there, and the hot side will be done. So. But yeah, we'll definitely dedicate a video to this thing once the titanium is done and welded out, because that's going to look freaking amazing. And we've made a whole bunch of progress on the 240. We got parts ordered so we can get that LS built and into the car. And then hopefully tomorrow we can get the MR2 to the track and not get rained out and back up that 7-second pass. That's the goal at least. But yeah, we've just been busy working on things here and there. And that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you later. Bye.